Hiya. Should say good evening. No, I promised an update yesterday about everything that had happened when Sam went up to the ward, but unfortunately, life does take over sometimes in certain aspects. So today I want to talk about when Samantha went up to the ward. Quite an interesting stay on there, actually. It was, staff were absolutely amazing. Samantha was on high dependency for about a day and a half, so which was quite good, because as soon as the Robs were stable and she was stable in herself, they sent her. We went up to the ward, so the porters took us up to the ward. Samantha's still hooked up to drips, and as in like drains to drain all the, because she obviously, it's such a big wound, it's hard to explain. That it was drained and going in. She also had a catheter, which she absolutely hated. Right, understandable. Never had one myself, but I couldn't imagine what a young girl's feeling. Anyway, so it's quite late-ish in the afternoon when we went up to the ward, and Sam was, because the drugs that she was on, because she had an epidural in still, and then the morphine and everything else that she was still on, she was still quite sleepy in a way, but her Robs were stable. So on the first night on the ward, it was just initially settling down and sort of resting. Believe me, I was grateful for getting on the ward, because I got one of them camp beds to lay on, so it was nice and comfortable compared to the chair in HDU. Anyway, right, following day. So after her operation, not the day after operation, the day after she come up from HDU, so we're talking, I think it was, she had the operation on the Wednesday. She was still in HDU till Thursday late afternoon, and then that's it. Sorry, it's just hard, because it's just, all I can say is everything just was blur and everything at the time. Anyway, the next day, on the Friday, the physio and the OT, they came and they introduced themselves to Sam, or Samantha, she hates being called Sam. And they gave us some exercises to do, just to practice, because obviously she couldn't get off the bed because of having the tubes in. They also then, physio bought a monkey bar that she was able to pull herself up the bed without having to be sort of having the nurses come and slide sheet her up the bed. For anyone that doesn't know what a slide sheet is, it's something that goes, it's hard to explain really, but I'll try. It's like a sheet, that slippery sheet that goes underneath a patient, and you need at least 2 people, or 2 nurses or 2 staff, to pull the patient up the bed on it. That's the proper way to use it. Anyhow, so Sam, being a bit more awake at this time, was determined, and over the weekend she used the monkey bar to pull herself up the bed. She practiced all the exercises that the physio gave her. By the Monday, she was able to get out of bed. as the tubes had come out. Or should I say, everything apart from the catheter had come out. So the physio got her up, got her standing, and got her transferring on and off the bed with a pivot transfer. Because bear in mind, she's only got one leg now. So physio left the frame on the ward so that Sam was able to practice. And Sam did really well. I have to say, she was determined. So that was Monday, the Monday following the surgery, because physios don't work over the weekend in the hospital that we was in. Anyway, so Tuesday, physio got her practicing even more, and the catheter came out because Sam was adamant this catheter was coming out, because she said, I'm just going to pull it out if they don't take it out. I was like, Sam, if you take that catheter out, you're going to get trauma. You're going to hurt yourself. You'll make yourself bleed down there. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'll get the nurse to come and explain, shall I? Because I'm off duty and I'm here as your mum, not as a nurse. And she's laughing at me. Anyway, the nurse comes, explains everything to her, and said that, okay, we'll take the catheter out, but if you don't manage to have a wee, then it's going to have to go back in. Sam, being Sam, was determined, and they bought a commode in each, like it kind of wheeled over the toilet where she was. Anyway, I know this is a bit personal, but you know, this is the nitty gritty of everything that happened. It's no good me sugarcoating it, because sugarcoating. Anyway, so day 2 of physio on the Monday. On the Tuesday, I told you I'm lost with days. She's surprising this physio as well. She showed the physio that, yeah, I can do this. I can transfer. So day 3, on the Wednesday, the physio got her doing a bit more, which is really good. And day 4, which was the Thursday, the physio, she came. She said, right, Sam, we're going to practice you sitting on the settee, getting onto the floor, and then getting back up onto the settee. Because that way you'll be able to sit and play with your little girl. And if you have a fall, you know you can get up. But I need to see that you can do this. So, wheels into this little like family room. And it's got a 2-seater settee in. And so physio shows Sam how to do it first, and then she gets Sam to have a go. Do you know what? That girl, she did it. No issues. She's like, wow. Do you know, if that had been me, I couldn't have done that. Anyway, so she did that. Wicked. And then, so we goes back into the room, and the physio says, right, I'm happy to discharge you and you can go home on Monday. I'm going to book all the transport and get you all sorted, and you're going home Monday. I was like, whoa. So, yeah, that was brilliant. It's like, awesome, you've done it. So, yeah. So we stayed in hospital then till over the weekend, till Monday. And Sam kept practicing all weekend so that when she got home, she wasn't going to have an issue with it. So, let's talk about the day of discharge. It's an interesting one. Transport was booked, and we were told it would be sometime in the afternoon. So we gets all ready, packs all the stuff up. Sam's getting well excited because she's going home, because bear in mind, she's not had contact as such apart from via FaceTime with her little girl, with my granddaughter. And it was heartbreaking for all of us every time we had to say goodbye and night and that. It was horrible. Well, we waited all day after getting the medications given to us to take home with. Nurse came and says, I'm going to have to chase that transport up because it should have been here by now. Now I know how it works when you're with transport. I've worked in a hospital, so I said hey, don't surprise me. You know, it quite normally we chase them up. It happens. So don't worry, it's not your fault. It's Transport Services. So she chased them up, came back to her and said, unfortunately, we can't take her until tomorrow. Now, Sam is all hyped up at this point, and so am I, because we're both desperate to see my granddaughter and our family, like my other daughters, and just get home and start getting back into that routine again and get used to it, because we were moving into a new property as well. But I'll talk about that another time. On another blog thing. Sorry, I'm absolutely rubbish at this. But so Sam, being Sam, I said, you can wait till tomorrow then, shall we? And she's like, no, I'm going home. I was like, okay, but don't you think you're going to be a bit uncomfortable sitting on a chair in the car for about an hour and a half, and if longer if we get stuck in traffic? She's like, nope, I'm going home. I says, but the idea was you went home on a stretcher so that you like was comfortable and you weren't on your wound because it's a new wound. It's like, I'm going, and end of story. So I said to the nurse, I was like, okay, we're going home then today. I said, but I need to be able to have some help to get her to transfer into the car, because this is all new. We've not transferred into the car with one leg before. So anyway, they said, just bring the car around the back and we'll bring her down in the lift and to that, and we'll help you. They proper padded her, and they did help me. They proper. I felt like I'd hijacked the hospital of pillars and blankets, because they helped Sam into the car and then they padded her up so she was more comfortable with about 4 pillars and several blankets. And it's like, I feel like I'm stealing from NHS. Because, do you know, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. As long as she's comfortable, that's all that matters. Anyway, so, right. On that note, I'm going to say good night, and I'm going to tell you more in my next blog. Bye, everybody.